Hi everyone and welcome to the Daily Blue. I am Corinne Caro and I'm here with three amazing guys. They are students at Stony Brook University and they run an organization called Camp Kesem right out of Stony Brook. And I'm so excited to bring this to you guys today because it's truly incredible what these three individuals are doing. So with me are Jamie, Arjun, and Toby. And I love what you guys are doing. Tell us a little bit, Jamie, about what Camp Kesem is.
Absolutely. So Camp Kesem is a national nonprofit organization dedicated to recognizing and supporting children of a parent who has or has had cancer. Mm-hmm. And so they have basically a plan where they empower college students across the nation at 54 different chapters to start week-long summer camps free to these children.
Wow. So kids that have a parent, is it just a parent or if they have a relative that's sick with cancer?
That's a good question. So it's a parent or a primary caregiver, excuse me. That's really our mission.
Sure. Now, how did you get involved in the organization?
So along with the two guys right next to me and a bunch of undergraduates just like ourselves, we worked together in the spring of 2013 to start the chapter at Stony Brook. And so, as Jamie said, there are 54 chapters today. And as of last year, Livestrong was giving 13 new chapters a grant to start up a chapter of Camp Kesem through their through their community outreach program. So essentially, what we did was we worked together, filled out an application, and went through a national voting process. And we were the largest number. We garnered the large number of votes in the Northeast region. So it was really great when Livestrong gave us a grant to start up this chapter, and we really it really flew from there, and we really enjoy it so far. Yeah.
I mean, you must feel so happy that your lives are touching other lives, and you're really impacting these kids. And your goal then, Tobin, during that, it's a week-long camp that kids can go to. So what's the overall goal of the camp that week?
Well, the overall goal is because this, oftentimes when it comes to cancer, the focus is on the cancer patient and the person with cancer. Yeah. But the terrible thing about cancer is that it's such an all-encompassing disease that it really affects everyone in the family. And so children are often overlooked population of individuals that might be suffering through different emotional stresses and stuff. And so with our goal really is that we really stress the camp aspect of it. Like any other camp, it's all about fun, activities, a great time. And so we just want them to have a week away from the stresses of regular life, so they can just be kids.
Wow. Yeah. And now that must be very difficult though, because obviously pulling them away from a parent that's dealing with this. How do you instruct and teach your camp counselors on how to deal with this kind of this enormous amount of emotional need?
Absolutely. Well, keeping in mind that the week of camp is really just the start of the building of a peer support community for these children who often feel that they're alone, and now they learn we're not. Right. But to touch upon now, how do we do that? How do our camp counselors facilitate that? It starts with a lot of training. Our camp counselors are all undergraduates. Everyone involved from the planning to the actual execution of the camp is completely an undergraduate. And so they go through training, hours and hours of both in-person and online training by experts to ensure that they're comfortable doing what any camp counselor would do, but also to help these children in such a special need. They have, special.
Right. Oh, it's incredible what you guys have to go through. Are any of you going to school to be therapists or psychologists, or this is completely a new breed for you?
Personally, I'm a political science major, and so
it's nothing to do with that. But you're dealing with an emotional therapy.
Public policy is something that's always been of interest to me, and so helping the greater good of helping the public in different ways. And Jamie's studying to be a doctor, and Arjun is studying to be a dentist. And so they have
and Stony Brook has a great dental program. I mean, for sure.
I'm excited for that. But also, myself, I'm a psychology major, so I've been learning about different ways we can kind of connect to people and understand the underlying aspects of people's emotions. So that's been really helpful with that. And I've seen it just with our training sessions, how much we can connect with the kids.
There is nothing better than inspiring and helping others, I think, with your lives. So you guys as undergraduates are doing so, and it's just an incredible feat that you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much.
How much longer do you have to be a part of the project? And what happens when you're graduated? Do you get to go back?
Absolutely. So we're all actually currently juniors at Stony Brook University, and so we have the rest of this year and our first ever camp, and then all of next year to continue being involved.
Okay.
But to answer your question, well, what happens when we leave?
Right.
In the organization, it's not just the three of us.
Right.
You know, we have a great deal of undergraduates involved, and they're not all juniors, luckily. We have first-year students, second-year students, and they're all involved, and they all want to stay involved because
Right.
it's just one of those things that once you start doing good, you can't stop.
Right.
And so
Right.
as we leave, those students then go into leadership positions and take over, and the cycle just continues, and you can really sustain a chapter for years and years to come.
Okay, so can you tell our viewers what ages do they have to be a part of the camp?
Sure. We focus on kids from age range 6 to 16 years old.
Okay.
And since our chapter is the only one on Long Island that serves this purpose, we take children in the Long Island area, and we are currently looking for campers at the moment
Okay.
for our summer camp.
So Tobin, how do you find the campers that will be in need of your services in your camp?
Right, and so we try to reach out to either support organizations or hospitals that have these connections with potentially families who have been affected by cancer.
Okay.
And so,
How do you find them?
well, one of the main things we do is Arjun right here is our marketing and PR coordinator, and so he's been on a social media blast.
Yeah, that's how we
and
found you
that's-
guys.
Exactly.
Tell everyone your Twitter.
Yeah, great. It's at Camp Kesem SB, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with that tag. Yeah.
And also, the viewers should know that they can reach Camp Kesem at 631-716-5131 or go to the website Camp Kesem. Am I saying that right? .org/Stony Brook. And I'm sorry that I cut you off. So he's on a social media explosion, but but what else are you doing to get in touch with these kids that really need you?
One thing we do is we've actually, for example, the Stony Brook Cancer Center, they had their volunteers call everyone who could potentially fit the mission and directly speak to the parents of these kids and say,
Wow.
this is a program that's just being started in the Long Island area. It's the only one out there. Are you interested?
Yeah.
And those volunteers are trained to take on and facilitate those kind of questions that a parent might be like, should I really send my kid over there and stuff?
Yeah.
And so they have that ability to talk, and so it's that direct outreach we try to do,
Right.
as well as large scale social media.
It's just so wonderful because I think you're focusing on the child and what the child may be going through. So if anyone really has a need to join the camp, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can also interact on the Daily Blue. It's an interactive site, so please come on and have a discussion with you guys. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, answer any questions. And the number again is 631-716-5131. But I do have to ask you guys, it's an unusual name, Camp Kesem. What does it mean, Arjun?
So essentially, the word is a Hebrew word for magic, and the word originated from, for the camp specifically, originated at Stanford. And so what happened was the Hillel organization there, they started this organization and the cause, seeing that there's a need, that there are over 3 million kids with this specific mission, that fit this mission, and so across the nation. And so we want to serve as many kids as we can. So that's why there's so many chapters across the nation, because we want to reach all the small networks of people around the nation. And so when Stanford started the program, other colleges and other students across the nation were like, hey, we want to join this cause and we really want to start our own chapter. So that's how it slowly became the nonprofit organization that it is today.
So it means magic. Is it you're working magic? You're magic for these children's lives, or what's the notion around that?
The main thing is the idea that it's a transformative power.
Okay.
That magic at camp, that
I see.
you go to camp in the beginning, and then throughout a week, you're just a completely different person. That's why, actually, the mascot, Carl, it's best seen on Arjun's
Wow,
shirt,
yeah.
is a caterpillar. And the idea is that because a caterpillar can become a butterfly and transform
Beautiful.
and change, that's the idea behind our mascot, Carl, and the magic itself, I guess.
So the mascot's name is Carl?
Carl with a K, just
With
like
a
Kesem.
K?
Just like Kesem.
Oh, I love that, like Corinne.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic, just beautiful. And are you guys looking for camp counselors? Are you in need of camp counselors?
So actually, we were really lucky. We went through a search of all Stony Brook University undergraduates, and we found the 29 top students that we thought would be the best for camp this year. And so we now have our counselors, and we're training them, getting them ready for camp.
Okay, and how about all of the children that are needed to keep the camp program, going and thriving? Do you have all of your participants for this year?
We don't yet, actually, and we're really excited. So we have 50 spots this year, and we're just very, very excited to be able to welcome so many children from the Long Island area to our camp and really open our arms to them and start a family really as a peer support group. So if anyone knows anyone, please visit www.campkesem.org/Stonybrook, and you can find out information for how to get those children enrolled in our program.
Okay, now you said it's Long Island based, so most of the kids that are coming or families that are involved are based on Long Island, but is the camp existing on Long Island? And
actually, our campsite is Camp Candlewood in New Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay.
And our operations team, who plans all the programming for the camp, they selected that site based on the facilities because there's a lot of fun activities there, including a lake and swimming activities and rock climbing and all kinds of things, just to let the kids have fun. So essentially, we'll be busing the kids from Stony Brook campus to the campsite and back for the week-long period. So it is a sleepaway camp for the kids.
Okay, that's kind of nice because you can go to camp at Stony Brook, and there's a lot going on at Stony Brook. My kids have gone to lacrosse camp there and theater camp there. There's a beautiful field there, but it can be a lot of traffic. So I think removing them from the area is such a brilliant idea. I mean, who sets up the parameters of what the camp is? And I'm sorry for so many questions. It's just so amazing.
No, it's perfect. The national organization itself has, there are 54 chapters, and there's so many different universities on the wait list to start it, but the national organization is all about, there's a certain standard that has to exist for a chapter to put on a camp. And so, we have to be, the campsite has to be ACA accredited, that's why you can't do it at a university, and there's all those different type of regulations to ensure that, even though that there's all these different places throughout the nation, you're creating this one huge network of individuals that are all connected through this cause that they all are united with. And so that's why it's so important to have these standards and this kind of idea that you have to reach this level for you to be able to put on a camp.
Wow. And now do the families have to, you may have said this, but do the families have any costs that are involved in sending their children?
Absolutely not. So the entire week of camp is free to those parents.
Wow.
So because they're in the Long Island area, we use Stony Brook University as our main base. So everyone will meet at Stony Brook the first day. We'll do our goodbyes. We'll say our goodbyes to the parents, and then bring everyone to our campsite. And Camp Kesem Stony Brook will handle the transportation, the week of camp, the lodging, every activity, and we'll bring them back a week later.
So obviously you need funds. Is there a public outreach that you would like to talk about to raise funds, or how are you getting funds to do this? Tobin?
Yeah.
The hard questions are for Tobin. PR? Social. Okay.
And so in terms of fundraising, we've actually had a lot of luck from the surrounding community that's been super supportive, but we still have a lot of money to raise because it is a nonprofit organization. We take campers regardless of socioeconomic status.
Wow.
It's on a first come, first served basis. And so anyone who's in this need, we want to make sure we're helping them. And so it doesn't really matter. We pay for everything from the beginning to the end. And so you can visit our website and make a donation. On the left-hand side, you'll see how you can make a monetary donation. Good. But we're also looking for in-kind donations, and there's directions on how to do that. So the camp needs walkie-talkies, GoPros, sanitary items, stuff like that. So toiletries, yeah, exactly. Yeah. We need all of those things, and so that's really important for us. And to give you an example of some of the people in our community who've been helping us, there's the Richard and Mary Morrison Foundation, who gave us a $10,000 grant, which was amazing. So Livestrong did that as well. The university holds a 'Tis the Season event in which they get the undergraduate colleges and campus residents to combine and do a lot of work to raise money, and they were able to give us $5,000. We worked with Delete Blood Cancer, which is the American branch of the international organization, DKMS, and they're all about getting people on the bone marrow registry. And they had this program they were doing with both Camp Kesem. If we could get people to be on their registry, they would donate $2 a person.
Okay.
And we were able to register about 450 people. And so we had that outreach, and we were able to do that good in a different way, because once again, cancer is so there's so many different types of cancer and there's so many different ways to help. And so that was also important to us that we have this mission, but we're also doing other things for the community.
Absolutely, I see that. What is this mission of Delete Blood Cancer?
Sure. So essentially, there is a strong need for bone marrow donations, whether, especially because there's so many strains of bone marrow. And so when a person is in need, whether they do have some kind of bone marrow loss, they need a transplant. And so what we ask for is for people to put their name on this registry, and if there is a need somewhere else in the world and internationally and nationally, that we can match them, and essentially this DKMS, Delete Blood Cancer organization, matches people who are eligible with the person at need. And the key there is that people who need a bone marrow transplant, they are in the last straw. Like they're really in need. So the more people on this registry, the more people we can help. And this organization, Delete Blood Cancer, does a really good job of doing that.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And how can they get in touch with that? How can our viewers find out about Delete Blood Cancer?
The best way to do it would really be just search for Google. You go on either DKMS or look for Delete Blood Cancer, and you can find out how you can get involved. You can host your own bone marrow registry drives like we did, and really help make a difference because just one match can save a life. So it's really incredible.
I'm completely blown away by these three guys here, college students helping children and families all across Long Island, and your mission and what you guys are doing and what you stand for is just unbelievable. I give you guys high kudos, really.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us.
Anything that I can do, we're kind of good at Blue Chip Marketing about raising some money and awareness, and any donations that I could do, I would personally love to help you guys. So thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Please keep in mind, or write this down, to get your child involved, or if you know anyone that is suffering from cancer and you'd like their child to be involved, please give Camp Kesem a call, 631-716-7131. I'm Corinne Caro. Thank you, Toby, Arjun, and Jamie for joining us today. And thank you, Stony Brook University, for stepping up for the community and starting this whole thing. Thank you, guys. Enjoy, and we will see you very soon on the Daily Blue. Stay tuned for more.